How are you?
I'm good. Jordan, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, good, good. I'm glad I didn't miss it. I'm a few minutes late. I apologize.
So I'm wondering though, do they all have different links or has it been the same link for everything?
I wouldn't know. I did not set up the Zoom links. They were
Got
set
it.
up by the office. I would think they're the same link.
I would hope so.
I would hope so. I don't see any purpose in setting up a different link for each week, but you never can tell.
Exactly.
I,
Exactly.
I don't know how Chelsea does it. I'm sure she does it the best way she can, whatever that might be.
Right.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Now, I did not manage, I only missed one class. It was the last class. And I was in a teacher meeting that I couldn't get out of. So I'm kind of bummed about that. But I'm happy I made the last class.
so it looks like they've been different links for
Oh,
everything.
okay.
So Jordan, a person named Jordan Green and Elaine are in a different one. So let me send her the link. And hopefully,
Or maybe you should send me their link and we can join them. I don't know.
I don't have their link.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. No problem.
Give me 1 second.
Sure.
I'm going to call the Silicon Valley office. Give me 1 second.
Okay, absolutely. Do what you have to do.
I'm going to see if this is the link because that was from July 20th. I will put it in the chat for you as well. So you can grab that one because I don't know if this is the right one. So I'm going to try and join that one.
Okay.
And if it doesn't work, I will be back here. It might be the same one that we're in right now.
And you want me to try to click on that link and see if I can join that one?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
All right. Looks like this is the one. Yeah, give me a second. I'm gonna call Chelsea.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like we have the right one.
Yay.
So Elaine's gonna hop on that one
Okay.
and we will join. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna run a quick errand and shut my door and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Okay, I am back. Don't know where Elaine is, but we're just gonna go ahead and get started. Now, where is that? Okay, can you see my screen?
I see Zoom phone is expanding your reach. I think that's your screen.
You should see a Google PowerPoint.
No,
No?
no. I'm so sorry.
Well, we're just gonna try that. And, well, I had it, but now it's gone. Clearly, it really wants me to teach this class today. All right, let's try this one more time.
Hey, it happens to me all the time in teaching. We're good. I see that PowerPoint.
Fantastic. Okay. So, oh, what happened here? I'm trying to, there we go. All right, so putting the one thing to work. Now, everyone is familiar with the steps through the one thing and the different parts, correct?
Yes.
All right. This is not going to be a full hour, might even just be 40 minutes or less.
Yeah,
So
I wouldn't think so. It's a short little section, kind of the roundup
it's a
of
quick one.
everything.
All right, putting the one thing to work. So throughout the book, we have learned knocking down your first domino will allow you to knock down the next domino that's 50% larger. There are 6 lies between us and success. Do you remember what the 6 lies are?
Mhm.
What are they?
Well, hang on, I got to look them up, but they're in my book.
So I will give them to you.
Oh,
The
here we go.
six-
I got one.
Multitasking, right? Sorry. Go ahead.
Everything matters equally. Multitasking, a disciplined life. Willpower is always on will call. A balanced life, and big is bad. Those are the 6 lies. And of course, you know, each of them dives into detail more.
Right.
If you want success, you have to think just as big. Oh, where'd everyone go? There we go. Clarity is found by asking the focusing question. Do you remember what the focusing question is?
It's the question that is designed to give you the answer you want.
What is the specific question from the one thing?
What is the one thing that I can do, but that by doing this, everything else does not matter?
What is the one thing I can do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? So if I do X, is it going to make Y and Z easier? Or is it going to eliminate X, Y, and Z?
Mhm.
To achieve your one thing, you must make 3 commitments. Do you remember those commitments?
You want to follow the path of mastery. You want to move from an entrepreneurial to purposeful. And you want to you have to be accountable.
Live the accountability cycle. Absolutely. So follow the path of mastery, move from entrepreneurial to purposeful, and live the accountability cycle. So for you, what does it mean to follow the path of mastery?
For me, I think it's making sure that all my systems are in place and working so that I'm not spinning my wheels. But maybe that's moving from E to P.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I don't think these are mutually exclusive.
Mhm.
What about moving from E to P? What does that look like, or what does that mean to you?
I think that when you're purposeful, I'm focusing on, on getting the results that I want, like, getting the appointment or doing a listing presentation, instead of spending all my time on branding or making a flyer, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. And then living the accountability cycle, what's that look like for you?
Making sure that, I don't let other things interfere with my lead generation time or my working on business time, that I'm able to replace that time. If something comes up, I can go back and do it.
So they're all kind of intertwined. I see it, they're almost like a cascade. You have to follow the path of mastery to be able to move from E to P by holding yourself accountable. So for me, what that looks like is start at square one, figure out where I want to be in 10 steps from now, and learn what it takes to do that. Once I know what it takes to do that, I have to follow the steps that have been set before me. Because almost anything you do, there's going to be someone that has done it before you. It's
Right.
very rare that we are inventing the wheel. Moving from E to P. So I am an entrepreneur at heart. I suffer from squirrel syndrome. I call it squirrel syndrome, ADD. There's all sorts of different names for it. I will be doing one thing and I'll see something else that has my attention immediately.
Right.
So following a set schedule where I know from 9 to 11, I need to be doing this. From 11 to 12, this. 12 to 1, your lunch. That comes in the form of time blocking for me. And then living the accountability cycle. If I said I was going to do lead generation for 3 hours, did I do that? What did it look like? What were my results? And if I didn't, why didn't I do that? What came up that was so important that it distracted me and deterred me from the goal?
Mhm.
Who is holding me accountable for that?
It's got to be you.
What are the consequences for that?
Right.
I am a big believer in a pain reward system. What is the pain that I will feel if I don't bring in 5 new agents, if I don't knock on 20 doors, if I don't talk to 20 people, whatever the case may be. And if I do that, what is the reward? What good is going to come from me talking to all the new agents, from knocking on the 20 doors? If I know that I want $100,000 net income at the end of the year, I need to know my numbers, know how many people I need to talk to a day, so my conversion rates play in, and I'm converting those people to clients. And there are 4 thieves of productivity. The 4 thieves are the inability to say no, fear of chaos, poor health habits, and the environment you're in does not support your goals.
Now, for me, when I look at fear of chaos, I think a thief to this is actually welcoming chaos. I feel like when I'm doing 3 or 4 things at one time, that's chaos.
So
But
my question to you is, why are you doing 3 or 4 things at a time when the book outlines your
right,
one thing is the task that you are to spend time on?
right, because I allow distractions to come into my little world.
So chaos is going to appear different to everyone. And that factors in with your inability to say no. When you say yes to so many things, you say no to the things that really matter.
Right.
So for me, I'm heavily involved in nonprofit, or I was at least. By saying yes to all of that, what was I missing out on? Time with my nieces. I don't have children, so my nieces are everything.
Oh, good.
So I missed out on time with them, time
Mhm.
with my family, my grandparents, my parents, brother and sister-in-law, or doing something that is better for my mental health, my mental well-being. When I said no and I learned how to say no, everything started changing. My effectiveness in the gym got better. My mental clarity got better. My business expanded. So learning how to say no to that is a skill-based asset in your toolkit, and no is a complete sentence. You know, as real estate professionals, we often suffer from acceptance syndrome, and we want to be liked by everyone. And we have to learn to set our boundaries and say no. And that's it.
Mm.
Some great examples. Client calls you past 9 p.m. No, or whatever time you stop taking client calls. Will you reduce your commission? No. Zillow said this, let's list it at that. No. Now, of course, there's going to be much more than just saying no, but in instances, no is a complete sentence. Fear of chaos. Things are going to happen, things are going to go wrong. It is what it is, it's the course of life. What is it? Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong
Will go wrong. Yeah.
It's going to happen, and it's not the setback that determines things, it's how we react to it. You know, there's that Viktor Frankl quote that, let me look it up because I had it for some time and now I can't remember it. Okay. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies growth and our freedom. So I read that about every week, and each week it means something different to me. So in escrows, for example, things are going to fall apart. Maybe the financing fell apart and now you're scrambling because you think you're going to have to go on back to the market. That's great. And that is something that runs parallel to trying to fix the current situation. Because if you can fix the current one instead of going back to square one, you're in a lot better shape.
Right.
But it's going to feel like chaos, and that's okay. You bring in your one thing. In that moment, what is your one thing? Working towards a close with what you're given. Poor health habits. And this applies to all health-related aspects. So I have a sweet tooth. I have a major sweet tooth. Sweets and carbs, I can't say no. I can, but I say it and then I eat it. If you're doing that and you're not balancing it out with something for your health, it's not going to be good. Same thing with stress. When your body is at dis-ease, you have disease. You have to take care of your body from the outside in and the inside out, all at the same time, which is a job in and of itself.
Yeah. Yeah. I always try to, when I go to the kitchen, I find that when I'm not doing something, I reach for eating something, right? I can't just sit and read a book. I have to be eating and reading. I can't just watch TV. I have to be eating and watching TV. So instead of eating cookies, I think, okay, you can have a cookie, but first have some nuts, or first have some fruit, and then you can have a couple of cookies, right? So I'm sort of bargaining with myself. So I don't feel so bad about eating a cookie. And I found that I lost weight and that I ate far less cookies. I don't have a candy thing, I have a cookie thing. Same thing.
It's the same amount of refined sugar as eating a chocolate bar, maybe a little less, actually. A chocolate bar is probably worse. Especially, if it's a large manufacturer, an Oreo or something like that.
Mhm. Yeah.
Same thing.
Yep.
But it all applies. Sure, I can have the cookie, but what did I do to balance it?
Right.
Did I go to the gym? Did I spend the time needing to earn that cookie?
Mm.
Now, of course, I am just like everyone else. I will have a tough day, and all of that goes out the window real quick. I don't care if I went to the gym or not. I don't care if I ran 10 miles. I don't care if I lifted. I don't care. Give me the box of cookies. Give me the bread. Give me the sweet, whatever it is.
Uh-huh.
It's about balancing out long term. Same thing in real estate. If you let the stress of real estate get to you, and in your personal life, it's going to affect you. So what are you doing to help with that habit, that health habit, when the stress gets too much? It's all about finding an outlet. They say that if you're craving something, if you go for a 10-minute walk, you won't crave it anymore. Now,
Maybe.
I don't know if that's true, because if I'm craving something, it means I've generally wanted it for some time. So I want something. I wake up the next morning and I know, okay, you had it, time to pay the price. All about that not risk and reward, pain and reward system. And then your environment doesn't support your goals. So we're the sum of we're the average of the people around us. If we are with people who aren't supporting us and lifting us up, we're going to notice it. I was talking to someone and they put it so eloquently to me. Stay away from still people, STILL. I'm still working at a job I hate. I'm still living in a place I hate. I'm still unemployed. I'm still overweight. I'm still not at my goal weight. I'm still stay away from still people.
Mhm.
Because if you're the average of the people you hang out with and everyone is still, guess what you're going to be doing?
Right.
I'm still only selling one house a year. I'm still only doing this. Now, what about when your friends or the people that you're around are supportive and ask you questions and push you to your limits? You're not going to be that still person, because if the people around you are growing continuously, you are going to grow 1% better every single day.
Like it.
So, my question to you, where are you in your personal life, with your family, with your career, your business, or your job, and with your work team? For me, in my personal life, and my family, it's a mess right now. It is an absolute mess. Physically, I am in my 30s. In my personal life, it's like I'm still going through my 20s, that rough patch.
Mm.
My career, my business, or my job. My career has been great to me. I started a new position. My businesses are wonderful. I have taken a backseat in many of my roles to business owner, not worker in the business. My work team, again, it's taken a backseat in real estate production, but in the office, it's wonderful. We're cohesive. We work as a team. We hold each other accountable and we build each other up. So where are you in this?
Well, in my personal life, I think I'm okay. I'm making sure that, I'm focusing on my diet, my nutrition, my health, making a concerted effort to buy healthy things. For instance, chocolate covered almonds instead of cookies. Okay, still have a sweet, but there's some health in there as well. I go for a walk 3 times a week, and it's a 3.5-mile walk. So, it takes an hour, and that makes me feel good. So I think I'm okay with my personal life. My kids are good. My husband's good. We're good. With my family, overall, we're good. We try to handle stress. I would say the most thing I get stressed about with my family is being able to give my kids what they want. Like, I want to give them what they want, but sometimes that's not a good idea. It depends. And with each child, it's different. So I have to, keep reminding them that they're different. There are different places in their life. And so I'm going to be doing different things for them. I don't want one getting jealous that I'm doing such and such for that one, but I'm not doing it for this one. So that causes me stress. With my career, I am not at all where I want in my career. I'm good in the office, but my personal number of transactions that I'm closing is not at all where I want it to be. And I love blaming, oh yeah, prices are down, buyers don't want to buy, the shift, but it's not, it's me. And I don't have a work team. So
Sure you do.
there you go.
You have your transaction coordinator, you have your preferred vendors, you have your escrow officers, you have your lenders. That is your work team.
Yeah. I have several that I work with, but I haven't necessarily spoken with them. So evidently that's in disarray as well.
Fair enough. So where would you like to be in your personal life, with your family, with your career, and with your work team? For me, my personal life, I want to be 50 pounds lighter at least. I think everyone wants to lose, not everyone, I shouldn't say everyone. A lot of people are saying, yeah, you know what, I want to lose weight. What's the number one New Year's resolution every single year? Lose 20 pounds, lose X pounds. With my family, I'd love to be closer with my family, even though we're already super close knit. We're very tight. There's disarray there too. It happens. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
There's things out of our control that we cannot get a grasp on, and that is okay. The differentiating factor is, do you allow it to become a stressor because you can't change it? Or do you accept that you can't change it, appreciate it for what it is, and hold on to that? With my career, business, or job, I'd love to have more agents in the office. How do I get there? What is the one thing that I can do to bring in more agents? With my work team, right now we're good where we're at. And if there's ever anything that we need to change, we examine that and we do what we need to do to change it.
That sounds good.
So, what is the one thing that you can do so that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? My personal life. For me, I need to learn to step back before jumping into a situation. Look at the situation. Do I accept the invite to it or do I decline the invite to it? I don't have to attend every single thing that I am invited to, whether it's a conversation, an argument, an event, a dinner, a date, whatever it is, a confrontation, a conflict. Just because someone is putting it out there doesn't mean that I have to accept the invitation to attend it. With my family, I can only change my actions and I can barely control those sometimes. I know that, again, I need to step back. I need to get better at listening. I know that. What's the one thing that I can do that would make my relationships with my family better? I need to listen more. I'm so used to speaking that sometimes I forget to listen.
Mm.
And that is just an inherent character trait with me. My disc profile, I'm a high D, high I. So I am used to going. Let's just go and I'll deal with the consequences as we go. By slowing down and listening, what am I going to pick up? Because that will in turn provide something that I can give of value to my family. Because if I'm speaking, I am not hearing what they need or what they want. Same thing with my career, business, and job. Slow down, listen more. Do I need to react? Do I even need to get involved? Is this something that I can have someone else handle? Can I leverage this situation? What will I do here so that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? More agents. Guess what? I need to make more phone calls.
Mm.
I need to work on the relationships. How do I do that? I need to dedicate more time to that. How do I do that? Time block my calendar. And with my work team. I'd love it where at the end of the year, my work team was able to go on a vacation all together. That'd be wonderful. Or send everyone separately. That'd be great. But again, I need to slow down and listen and set more appointments with new agents to bring more agents in to turn the business higher so that we're running a profitable thing.
Mm.
So the top two, the one thing that I can do, listen, actively listen. The bottom two, talk to more agents, bring in more agents. How am I going to bring in more agents? Time blocking, having more conversations. But I also need to be a student in learning how to convey the value of Keller Williams. And it's going to be different for everyone because what someone sees as value, someone else might not.
Mm.
You know, someone who's producing at a very high level isn't going to care that we have a command system that lets them do everything because chances are they probably have it.
Mm.
But you know what they will care for? Our Keller Concierge program, that we can have our clients do a remodel. Because if I picture it that way for them, if I paint the picture that if their client is able to remodel at no upfront cost to them, and then it's taken out of escrow, which can result in a higher sales price for their client, that's going to grab some ears. How about you? What would you like to share here?
Well, I would say in my personal life, I feel like I have neglected some of my friendships, and so I want to reconnect with some of the people that I have not been as good a friend as I should have been.
Mhm.
So I want to reach out and reaffirm those relationships. And in my family, I would like to take my family on a family vacation. Because I think I have 3 daughters that are 26, 28, and 30, and they're not married, but I feel that time is coming very quickly. So I want to get in one last vacation before everybody ends up engaged and married, and then it's a whole new world for us. For my career, business, or job, it all comes down to lead generation. That's the only way I'm going to get more business, which is on me. And I feel what I don't have is what you were talking about, is accountability for that. So perhaps I can accomplish that if I approach some of the people in the office and ask if any, see if anybody will do accountability with me. And that may be the tipping point for me. And then with my work team, I think it's similar to my personal life, reconnecting with them. I just had one of my lenders come by the office and say, "Hey, good to see you." And then he sent me an email saying, "Hey, we should get together." And I didn't respond to it. And I should respond to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Our lenders are a great source of leverage, because what if someone meets them at something and they say, "Hey, do you know a real estate agent?" Well, if you're top of mind with your lender, guess who's
Right.
going to get the lead?
Absolutely.
So taking your daughters on a trip, and I hope it's okay that I give you a little pushback here.
Okay.
How are you going to take your daughters on a trip? Where is that money going to come from?
I actually have wealth. I don't count on real estate for my
Okay.
wealth.
Great. That settles it then. So, well, I'm in a similar situation. So it's, I've had plenty of coaches and accountability partners, and they're like, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of like, do I need the transaction? No. But I like the transaction. I like doing the real estate. And I did my big why for the first, 10 years of being with Keller Williams. My big why was to get my kids through college. I used my transactions to pay for my kids' college. Well, that's over now. I've paid for my kids' college. They're all done. Nobody has any debt. Yay. But now I don't have a big why.
So this is an opportunity to find your big why.
Yeah. I went to the vision board thing, hoping to kind of find a big why, and I didn't find a big why. I have a bunch of little things that I want, but nothing like the big why. So I'm thinking that the trip will work for the next year as the big why, but I still don't feel like I have the big why like I did before.
So what would you rather do? Dig into your reserve, and by your wealth, I don't know what you have, so I'm just going to say your reserves. What would feel better? Digging into your reserves to pay for the vacation, or having it completely funded off of real estate?
Of course, the second one.
So there's a short-term why.
Right, yeah, that's why I said it's a short-term big why.
And
instead
there's
of
nothing saying that it has to be a long-term.
But it really motivated me, that whole,
Mhm.
I've got to pay for my kids' college. They're close in age, and there came a point where all three of them were in college for several years at the same time. And uh, and and it's such a big relief that I met the challenge. I successfully met the challenge. That challenge is over. And that was really my sole motivation for quite a long time. And now, so I realized that I need that big why. That's why I went to the vision board and said, okay, and I put a big picture of Thailand on my vision board as an image of, getting out of the United States and going on a trip. I don't mean like we're going to go to LA or going to go to Disneyland, or, we do that on our own. So that's what I'm talking about. We're going to a big trip that we can remember and make memories and that kind of thing. So hopefully I can achieve that in a year. I'm hoping for less.
Do you have, do any of your daughters have children?
No,
Okay.
they're not married.
Okay.
So that's why I feel like I only have so much time for that big why to actually be a big why and be
Right.
achievable. Because once they get engaged, now other people are entering it, and that's a different thing.
So, I don't know, and I probably never will know, but
Oh,
I hear that grandchildren change everything.
right, but that is quite a way. That's a good,
And maybe that will become your why, leaving a legacy
in
for
the
them
future.
that college is paid for. Because, we've never met in person. It's all been over Zoom. But education is something that is very important to you.
Yes,
You're a teacher, you
yes,
paid for your children's education. It's a very clear thing of value to you.
yes.
So maybe that is the legacy. And when that time comes, maybe that might be your big why.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I hadn't thought of that.
That's why they pay me the big bucks.
Hey, as a teacher, if I can get an aha moment out of any of my students, just one, I'm good.
Yep.
That just, I'm good for that,
Yeah.
class period. I feel I've succeeded.
Absolutely.
So there you go. You helped me come up with a backup
Mhm.
big why after the trip, which seems like I kind of want to go for a big why that is less materialistic, right? A trip, like really?
There's nothing wrong with the material thing. Oh, look at what's behind me. Nordstrom.
I can't see you
Okay.
because I'm looking at your screen.
When I end the screen share, you'll see what's behind me, but there's nothing wrong with material things. I think we're so ingrained as a culture to not show off our material things. And I'm not a fan of it, because if I work hard, I want to enjoy the things that I can purchase that will bring me joy,
Right.
whether it's a material thing. And I wouldn't even say a trip is a material thing, because, education is travel is one of the best forms of education you could ever gift yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A
And it
four-year
makes it
degree is
awesome.
wonderful,
Yeah.
but a four-year degree is not going to teach you the cultures of the world, the real history observed by you of the world.
Right.
So, I mean, hey, go for it. It's your short-term why, and there's no right or wrong why.
Yeah.
Now, your accountability, have you looked into any sort of coaching programs, an accountability buddy in the office? I mean, who's holding you accountable?
Nobody, just me. And evidently it's not working well. So yeah, I have to think about who in the office, and there's several people that I can go to and say, hey, can I set you up as my accountability partner? I'm happy to do it for you. Would you be willing to do it for me?
And then you also have to figure out, what does accountability look like for you? And what is the consequence? Because accountability without payment
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
really just,
Talked about that. And I was like, I don't really have any like punishment or consequence. I don't really like using the word punishing. I don't think I should be punished, but there should be a consequence for not, doing at least X amount of lead generation per day, or, every other day, or whatever the guidelines I set up for myself.
yeah.
There definitely needs to be consequences, but I cannot think of any consequences.
So
I have no problem thinking of consequences for other people, but for myself, I've got kind of like a mind block on that.
So is there an organization that, or a person that just like gets under your skin? Like you can't stand them, whether it's a TV personality, a celebrity, a influencer, anything, or a charity that you just can't deal with.
At the risk of being offensive, the current political climate is driving me freaking nuts. And the activities going on in, for lack of a better word, in Texas and Florida are really pissing me off. So
So are you, give me a second. I don't know if this is recording or not.
I don't, it says recording.
Okay, give me one. Oh, I'm not a host, so I can't do it. So if you didn't meet your goals and the pain was that you had to send money to the organization supporting the goals opposite of what you support, would that motivate you to do the work?
I think sending money to an organization that I support would be equally painful. Because I'm not convinced that, contributing to any of these areas, the money is getting where it needs to go.
So then there's that pain factor for you.
Right. So if I'm gonna cause myself pain, I'm not gonna support something I don't believe in. I at least will, support something I do believe in, so that I can say, well, there goes another check to KW Cares. Okay, which would be great, right? I mean, that could be something that would be penalized, but I like that idea too, to write a check to, an organization that I support, that, but so the paying part is me parting with the money, but at least I'm supporting something that I want to support instead of
Exactly.
supporting somebody I don't want to support.
Exactly.
Another good idea, Jordan. Look at you. Awesome.
All right. So creating a habit takes 66 days.
Yeah.
Are you ready to commit to doing the one thing in the areas of your life that you want to change? Because it will be uncomfortable and it's going to require dedication. It's important to build your bunker out and find your support system. Who are the people that are going to support you doing this to change where you are 66 days from now? Make sure you're tracking your progress too, so you can see, okay, here was day 1, here was day 66. And by day 66, it's going to feel weird when you don't do it. because it's become a part of you. So for me, it was completely making my bed. It was years, and this is so embarrassing. I would have the bed made, I just wouldn't put all of the pillows on. So it was nice, it was crisp, it was clean, just the pillows were off. I just started this year putting all of the pillows back on, because what I was saying was making my bed was really just a half shot thing. You know, yeah, sure, I had the pillows that I slept on, but it wasn't the decorative one. If
Right.
someone came into my house, I would not want them to go into my room. I mean, I wouldn't really want people going into my room in general, but it's almost kind of like having a messy house and not cleaning it.
Mhm.
You really don't want to have people over.
Right.
Whereas if you know, okay, I need to keep things clean, or I need to organize every 3 days and do it for 66 days, it's going to feel weird when you don't organize every 3 days. Same thing with weight loss. When people start on their fitness journeys, a lot of people will take pictures before, a lot of people will take pictures during and after, and then they get to a certain point and they start sharing those photos.
Right.
So there's power in tracking it, and it's a form of self-accountability.
Yeah.
So there used to be a 66-day tracker online, but I'm not able to find it. It might be in KW Connect, so check there. You can check the One Thing habit tracker.
I don't know if you were in a previous class, probably, where Elaine shared, I think it's Keller Inc.
Uh-huh.
And that is where you can find the One Thing tracker
Perfect.
if you're looking for it. I downloaded it.
And you know what? You can download multiple, because maybe you're focusing on something in your personal life,
Mhm.
and you're like, okay, I want to walk a mile every day, whatever it is. 66 days, you'll have walked 66 miles at least.
Right. You mentioned New Year's resolutions. I very rarely do resolutions because that's just not what I do. But this year I did.
Okay.
My resolution this year was to stop myself from getting really angry at other drivers when I'm driving the car, right? And so I did it. Every day I would get in the car and I'd be like, okay, you know, if somebody cuts you off, you're just gonna pull back and let them go. You're just gonna, you know, you're gonna let it go. And my family started going, wow, look at you, because I shared it, right? I tried to be accountable and I shared it. This is my goal. What do you think? And they were like, oh, it sounds like a good goal, Mom. So I did it. And then today, just today, coincidentally, I was in my car, and what with in-person classes now, because we've had not in person, right? COVID, sheltering, you don't go anywhere. Now,
Right.
all of a sudden, everybody's not doing that anymore. We're going back to the way we were, and traffic sucks. And and they've changed the start time of the high schools.
Oh,
So now when I'm leaving to come to my school, it used to not be a problem because they were already in school. There weren't any people dropping people off. And I live by a middle school and by a high school and by an elementary school. So it doesn't matter which way I go, I'm in the middle of parents dropping their kids off and trying to get back in. And so I found myself getting pissed off and honking at people and stuff. And I'm like, stop it. So I think I have to go back and retrain myself, because I did it for, you know, I mean, this is September. I was fine up until, well, about 2 weeks ago, which is when because all of a sudden,
school started.
I can't, it's 15 minutes have gone by and I've gone 2 blocks. Okay, that's an issue for me.
I'm the same way.
Kind of thing. So I think that's going to be my personal one.
There you go.
On
There you
my
go.
personal tracker.
Well, that's all I have for you. I
No,
really appreciate you
did an
showing up.
awesome job.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It would have been so sad if you did all this and then nobody came. It would have been sucky, really sucky.
And you know what? It happens.
Oh yeah, it happened. I felt terrible. I checked, I think, who was it that was doing it last weekend? And I couldn't make it. I was stuck in a teacher meeting. I couldn't get out of it. And I connected up with her afterwards, and I sent her an email apologizing that I couldn't come to the meeting. I was so sorry. I hope it went well. And she was like, nobody came. And I was like, oh God, that, and you know, the week before it was my turn to lead the class, and she was the only one that came.
Oh,
And so I felt really, really bad.
that's
Because,
a box of cookies.
you know, it's like, damn it, you know, but I felt better that I, you know, addressed it
Right.
and communicated with her and let her know that I felt bad and that I let her down, and I apologize. So, you know.
You know, things will happen. There's always going to be something. And you know what? At least you went above and beyond and reached out to them, because a lot of people wouldn't do that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So, well, I really appreciate you showing up. And if there's ever anything that I can do to help you in your growth or where you are and get you out of where your mind is, I'm always happy to chat.
And saying back to you, I'm always reachable via email or text.
Thank you.
And happy to stop my lead generation so I can commiserate with you.
No. All right, Meg. Well,
Okay.
you have a wonderful day, and I will see you at the next class.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.